One day we're going to understand that your money and your degrees don't make you initially more attractive to men. That day is not today. All right, let's talk about it.
Does he need to look a certain way?
Absolutely. That he
How
needs
he
to
need to,
he needs to make it make sense.
he need to make it make sense? Okay, what is
I mean, if you click my profile, you see the pictures. They are an accurate representation of me. I can't have someone that doesn't compliment me.
okay?
That,
Okay, does he need to make a certain amount of money?
absolutely. He needs to make at least what I make or more. And it's just because I've learned the lesson, right? I will no longer date outside of my education. I would say 350K or more. Just because I don't want someone envious of me. I don't want to breed resentment, right? Because my wallet looks a certain way, and sometimes men feel like that's emasculating when, again, truth be told, women and me specifically, we really don't pay attention to that, but it absolutely drives a wedge.
So you saying, let me make sure I got this right. You're saying you need a man that's attractive, 6 feet tall, making 350K. You know every woman want him, right?
And that's fine, and that's probably why I'm over here by myself. He with somebody else, but it doesn't hurt to try.
You got 5 kids though.
I don't care.
So you think that that's the prime, like that is the cream of the crop, 350K. You asking
But
for the one
what you,
percent of the 1%.
I get you, and what you're failing to realize is
For,
everything I'm asking for, I already have. So I know it's not
yeah, but you're a
impossible, and I'm
woman.
not going
You're a woman. You're not a
to
man.
and
Because I
gender.
know a good amount of men that are black, that are over 6 feet, that make a good amount of money. And I know what they be looking for.
True.
And they not looking for, respectfully, you're a good looking woman. However, they not looking for a woman that's 48 with 5 children and one of them is 7 years old.
No, and I
You know what I'm
get it.
saying? So like,
And
why would I deal with that when I am the cream of the crop? I made 350K. I could travel the world. Every woman wants me. I'm 6 feet
wait,
tall.
what if he has 5 children?
The game ain't the same.
Oh, so we got a double
Hell yeah, this
standard. Oh,
is the world. And it's your fault.
Listen, so there's a lot that goes into that. First of all, yeah, it's a double standard. We and women set that up. When you valued men for these things that were not in, some of them are what you're born with, right? Your the penis size, your height. These are things that you really can't change as easily as you might hope. But when you put money as one of the top things, and you see that increasingly more and more stuff that we cover, more and more women are saying, yeah, I didn't marry for love. I married because he had this resources, or I would never have initially talked to him if he didn't have these resources. Okay. We can complain, we can lament, we could pull out our hair, but at the end of the day, that is what you value. Okay, cool, right? Now, when you have men that do these things, they hit that monetary mark, they happen to be born under the right genetic lottery, they won the genetic lottery, they're born under the right son, boom, they meet these criteria, and then they make that money. They look at you and say, no, I don't really care. It does not seem to matter what age some of these conversations are being had with women of different ages. You're 48 years old with 5 kids, divorced, and you want the cream of the crop man, and you make it seem as if there's no harm in you saying that's what you want, because on the off chance it can happen. This is why we're so afflicted with playing the lottery in our community. This is why we think that this is a viable strategy for life. I can just hope that this happens. Is she saying, yeah, because the difference in wallets, it became emasculating? Okay. I won't even try to combat that and say that doesn't happen. That's a very true statement, the way we have things set up today. If you make more than your man, there's a chance he could feel a way about it. There's a chance that man that you're dealing with can feel that way. There's also a chance that he cannot care. But because we have this narrow vision, this narrow focus in our society where if you make more than man, bad for him, he bad, you treat him bad. It doesn't necessarily go that way, but we have that belief. When men outstrip women in sort of resources, you expect them to do what you are incapable of doing. We always put it on the men when we don't also acknowledge that, yeah, once women make more than their men, they tend to feel like they don't need them around. They tend to feel like they're not important, that this role, that provision role they were supposed to do, they can't do anymore. So why are they here? When you're not marrying, or you're not getting with someone or because you actually care and you love them, when you're getting with them because they can provide you extraneous resources, the minute you don't need that, you don't need him. That's the setup. That's the current setup. Is it fair? No, but it is the current lay of the land. All right. So now when men are saying, I don't want you, given your age, your stats, the things that are important to me, you don't hold those. You find benefiting from the double standard the other way it was, but now it kind of stings. Now it's something to be called out. Now it's something that's wrong with men because we don't value things the way you do. When you constantly cannot see things from the male point of view, you're constantly locked into this rigid framework where it only makes sense for you. If it doesn't, then there's got to be something wrong. Let me move off to the next one. Let me move off to the next one. Let me move off to the next one. At 48 with 5 kids, you've won. You've won. You've done that. You were married. You've won. There is a time to hang up the jersey. There's a time to hang up the jersey. They said the youngest one was 7. That's a lot of years left before any man's going to come and say, well, all the kids are out the house, so we can try what we can try. You played the game your way, and for whatever time you were married, we consider it a win. There's no one that's saying that you get multiple, chances at bat here at finding a man that has these things. If you still want to date and you have new complications in your life, kids, health, whatever, you're going to have to lower standards. You're going to have to say, I can't grab top dollar anymore. You're an aging actor who still wants to do his own stunts. You really can't. You really can't in a way that is going to make a blockbuster. No, we're going to look and say, there are new areas for you to occupy. There are new talents for you to explore, or new talents that you never really looked at. And now you should probably lean on those. We're not saying that in case you still want to be out here dating, you can't use the same sort of repertoire. You can't use the same sort of moves that you did in the past. But when you don't seem to care about that, you still want what you want. Understand what men are hearing when they see that. It's saying that despite all the things that you've made happen, despite the level of success, despite the disciplined lifestyle you've had, I don't care. You should still consider me an option. What you care about is irrelevant to me. I still want what I want. Consider whenever you have women coming on here and saying they're literally offended, they get the ick, they're disgusted when men who are not their looks equivalent shoot their shot with them in public. Look at how awful they talk about those men. Look how much they seem to be upset that these men should know their place. These men also should date in their tax bracket. But the minute you put restrictions on other women and saying, yeah, you should know what your looks get you. You should know what your past history entitles you to. Now we're misogynist. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments below. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, if you listen to sound my voice now and you have not subscribed, I think you should. I'm trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.